All right. Hi, I'm KCM, and I'm going to go over the finals I played with KrazyCaley the other day. If you haven't seen them already, I think you should probably watch the uh, the cast on Twitch. I'll throw it in like the link on the video. KrazyCaley also put up a or did a stream on Twitch for his own analysis of his side of the match, which is also worth watching. Um, that's part of the reason I'm doing this. I thought it might be interesting to see both sides of the match, like both players' thoughts on their play. I agree with Kaylee. I think this was a really good match. Not only was it close and had some fun moments, but I do think this represents like high level SpyParty play pretty well. I think there was kind of a minimal error on the spies' parts. Really good sniper play, especially from Kaylee, of course. But I think I got my shots as well. It was a really good match, and yeah, so I'm just gonna get into it and talk about it. I'll mostly just be offering or trying to offer my insight into the match as I was playing it, but it's kind of hard for me to do that sometimes. So let's just see how this goes. So in the first game, I'm going to be the sniper. During the draft, I think Kaylee won the coin flip, and I got I don't remember. Yeah, Kaylee won the coin flip, and he wanted to spy first. So I decided to play balcony on the first map. I decided to pick first and do balcony so I could do Veranda later. So that's why we're doing balcony doubled right now. We also made a mistake. We weren't supposed to play the doubled maps all straight, but we just decided to run through it, and I don't think it impacted the match in any real way. So here we go. Yeah, I remember Kaylee wins this one. He's Bondo back there. This is one of those games where he doesn't move at all, and he does manage to be my top suspect. So he's the first talker here, and Buckswaggle's going to talk like right after and grab a drink. I'm just kind of memorizing like who's talking right now. Yeah, Bug's off, so I'm not camping that. Brown Dress hasn't talked. I don't remember if his seduction target's talked, but she's not really a suspect. I bring Brown Dress back up. I'm not really sure why. I just kind of tap people around, and it's kind of a watching and tracking sort of thing. I think Brown Dress will probably get low late here because she's just not playing the game. Meanwhile, Kaylee's probably... Yeah, there's his print. This is important. I see the print, and I highlight him for it. And if he gets a second print, he's going to lose. But this also loses him a bit of heat in a way, because now he can talk pretty freely. And it's going to be really hard for me to tell if he's going to finish with Seduce without moving, or if he's going to try to finish via fingerprint really late or just bait a shot. I'm pretty confident that Brown Dress isn't going to finish here. Red Dress, probably not the spy. Yeah, I think I might even low lighter, but the neutral light is good. Buckswaggle talking here might actually be highlightable, but I don't go for it. And here Kaylee wins. Yeah, I think this is just a really patient game from him. It's, maybe a little bit of luck on his part, but at the same time, if he doesn't get that luck, then he's in a really bad spot. Like if Red Dress enters and then leaves before his timer expires or something, if he doesn't get that little bit of luck, he's kind of gambling that he will. And if he doesn't, he's got to leave right away and do a really obvious talk that loses in the game. So I don't think this win is fully something that should be attributed to luck. It's a good win from Kaylee. And standing there and getting lucky is the only way I think he wins that one, because he was my only suspect. Oh yeah, I should hit it. What is it? Control N? Yeah, okay. This one, I'm the spy. We'll just watch it. Which one is it? 3. There we go. Okay, I can't really get in there next to my seduction target. I guess I'm going to try to get this range of a flirt. I think this will put me at like 45% or so if I get a green, which isn't great. Yeah, 44. Early talker when I enter, so I'm high lit. Of course, I don't know that. Green BB, that doesn't hurt. And decide to leave to reset the flirt a little bit faster. I don't think BB splitting on this map is particularly suspicious. I don't do it very often. You do have to make sure you don't break animation when you do it. I can't win via 2 flirts, so there's no reason for me to cuddle up next to my seduction target. On the other hand, because I wasn't right next to her before, maybe I should have gotten closer, because the chances of me cuddling up next to somebody who I'm not flirting with but might have been paired with is, like, possible. In my opinion, this looks like a pretty winnable game. I can't flirt with her at window because she's been there too long. Hopefully she gets in conversation, and if I talk, I win. At least that's my hope. But I think Kaylee's on top of this one. No, I'm gonna get it. Yeah, nice. So that ties it up 1-1. At this point, I felt pretty good. And then I think I lose like a lot in a row. So let's see this game. I'm Sniper. Kaylee's red dress. Okay, so he has contact seduce fingerprint. For a long part of this game, I remember that, but I think at some point I do hallucinate a bug. And
Banana bread.
It's embarrassing, but it's a really tense match, and I was shaking in anticipation of one of my future strategies.
Banana bread.
So the first BB is kind of a gift, and I'm actually going to go back here and talk about this BB. But there is a certain irony in this. Okay, so here, where's the log? Let's just look at that. First BB is going to start here, and I'm zoomed in. But let's look at this. So the BB is going to start, and the double agent walks out during it. Banana bread goes off. Bugswaggle leaves like during it. It's kind of hard to tell if that's a BB split or not, but it's so good anyway that it's probably going to get a low light. Yeah, I shouldn't miss that one. Now, I'm in a good spot. I think I even highlight the talkers, right? Yeah. But then something here happens. I think the double agent walks back in and another BB sounds. And all it tells me is that he's the DA. Kaylee does a green test at the end of a white test there, which is really clean. But he is my top suspect, and I'm not especially suspicious of Blue Danger for hitting 2 whites. But the BB, yeah, gives me one bit of information that really isn't that helpful. And the Amba's going to leave, and at this point, after 2 BBs, I've kind of forgotten that bug is off, and I'm just playing balcony, because I'm a bit frustrated I haven't gotten as much information from the 2 BBs as I wanted, and in a way, they kind of hurt me. So here, Revolta plays an extended idle, I think, no, it's when he comes back, yeah. And Kaylee's just playing it really cool. He can't win. So the only thing that can happen is I mistakenly shoot and lose. Patience would have won me this one, and just keeping a level head. It's here. So, yeah, I don't know. It's stupid, but I think he plays kind of like an extended animation in between, instead of going into the next idle, and it looks like it's enough time to bug. He also, I think, is within range there, but really bad shot. Yeah. Going into the beginning of this set, I wasn't, I guess, playing my best. I think I picked it up after after a Veranda game anyway. All right, so here I'm Spy. Let's see what happens. Spoilers. I'm gonna lose. Is this the one where I lose for a window flirt? Yeah. So I enter an instant talk. I want to say it was my turn to talk there. Yeah, it's my turn to talk, and I don't want there to be no talkers in a conversation, so I start talking. I don't get a flirt here, which I don't actually mind. Normally, I would rather keep the possibility of red flirting here. What I shouldn't do, though, is go to conversation. Or go to the window after her. So I don't. Yeah, that's good. And she's going to enter convo, and now I can get a spot next to her. Oh, Kaylee gets a pathing low light there, which, you know, of course I'm unaware of. I do suspect that I'm high-lit this game, but I decide to play it aggressively anyway. So I've talked 3 or 4 times. I've only gotten 1 flirt. One of my flirts was red. I could probably be around 50% now and gamble it on a green. I do get a green BB and I leave. I don't break animation, but this is enough for Kaylee. Though there's no way I could be done even if I got a green there. Yeah, I think things I could have done better here. Maybe if I was really paying attention, I could have gotten this first flirt instead of just doing a normal talk. On a green, I think it brings me to, I don't know, 30-something%, 20-something, 28% maybe. And that's not insignificant for a highlight. Kaylee isn't the type of player who's going to notice a no talk or really reason out what that means. He's just gonna, you know, play his camping game, which he does apply to balcony. And yeah, I think maybe I should have just flirted there. Then I guess the entire game would have been a bit differently, would have played out differently. I would have had to have moved, you know, at some point because my seduction target might not, because I didn't red flirt, and it'd be hard to tell where the game goes from there. But I do think maybe that's kind of a bad move for me to have made. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. So, are we on the next one? Come on, control and SpyParty wants to crash. Okay, this should be the next one. Yeah. Kaylee is Spy. So, I banned Panop. I would much rather play Veranda against Kaylee. I think Panop is his best map. And chose Veranda 5 of 8 so I can hide there a little bit. I actually think 5 of 8 makes my strategy as Spy on the next game more viable. So, yeah, 5 of 8 was the one I was hoping we would get. And yeah, I really just am working on camping. I do try to camp the microfilm cheese on this map on both my turns as sniper. I know that Kaylee's fond of it, and I have put some time into it, but I still fail to catch it this game, which is unfortunate. Kaylee's going to get a bug. I do consider that she might have bugged here, but I kind of let it go. I remember that. I still don't have any highlights. Yeah. Kaylee's got 2 hard tells done, and I don't have any highlights, so that's not too great. Okay. I think I've seen her at a bookshelf before. Even now, I'm not entirely certain, but I think that's why I highlight her. I just want to track this microfilm, and I'm probably splitting my attention between Bug, Purloin, and Transfer right now. She gets a highlight, maybe for a Bug Path? Meanwhile, Caley hasn't moved in a while, so he hasn't really been on my radar. Alright, low light queen for inactivity there. Yeah, she's just not trying to finish. And I see her at the statue. I don't really think much about it. I think I'm going to glance at the statue soon and check to see that she hasn't, you know, white swapped it. Maybe I don't even do that. Oh, I do. Okay. So I know it's a 2 when Twin picks it up. And that is a green swap. I don't know it. It's either... I know it's either a white or a green, and I'm going to get a 50-50 when it happens. But until then, I'm still just guarding my Purloin and Bug. And I come around. That statue's different. I notice right away. I get my 2 highlights. This, I think, should be a big behavioral clue, that she's on that side and that she sees who's at the statue. If... And there's an animation break I could have caught, but it's okay. If she had stayed on the left side and pretended like she didn't care, then maybe it's more likely that it's a white test. But here I'm just kind of watching and waiting. Maybe he's going to Purloin. Maybe he'll start a chain. So I'm trying to bait it out here. Come around the corner. He takes a drink. He doesn't Purloin. I mean, even Caley has to assume he's probably a high suspect now, even if he doesn't think it's a 50-50. But neither of these characters are doing anything. And that's kind of what I expect. So I feel odds are good. Seduce is probably done. I'm not entirely wrong. He's only 1 flirt away. BB happens. They're both in conversation. It would be a green and BB for both. So I give him credit for a white swap. Or rather, I don't give him credit for his green. Yeah, I mean, it's a good play by Caley right here, I think, to come into... Just find the log. It's much easier that way. So he swaps. And then... Where's Caley? Swapping. Swap pending. Okay, so Caley swaps here, and he's going to leave the statue. And yet, again, he's not a suspect of mine at this point. And he's going to stand here. He's going to stand somewhere where he can... Here, let's actually look at his camera. Where he can see who got called into the statue. Yeah. That's something I could look at behaviorally, I guess. Like, if he just walks away and goes somewhere where he can't see that, like, possibly see that, you know, maybe I consider him a little less likely for the swap in the future. So he comes around, and he's like, oh, yeah, it's Twin, you know, and now I have to play this game. And I guess wrong. So, good game to Caley. Alright, so this is that game, and there's really not a lot to say about it. I actually think I could speed it up somehow. I forget how. There we go. Shift up. So I'll put it at 1.5 times speed. I'm the spy. Yeah, I picked pearls so I can idle this whole game. The strategy here is to do absolutely nothing. The only exception is if I get like a really good opportunity for a bug that is 0 risk, or you know, if my flirts line up kind of nicely. I do go for 1 flirt, but even that is unnecessary and even kind of undesirable. I just want to do absolutely nothing because at the end of the game I'm going to try to bait a shot from Caley. So here, I BB here because this is a really nice position for seeing if your BB's a decent quality BB. It's a fake, which is great for me because it means I'm not going to be a suspect. I do make sure 1 double agent is in, so I at the very least get that. But this looks like a good enough BB to me, so I go for it. Here I'm going to leave. I wouldn't have mind. I would have probably stayed in that conversation. I wouldn't mind staying there the whole game, just looking for that 1 BB. That's a really good perch. Here I go for my 1 flirt. because I do notice the party's kind of being a little inactive, and maybe I can get that bug. I don't get it. I don't really mind that I don't get it. If that was a green flirt, maybe I consider going back for flirt, but since I got a white, I'm just not going to bother. This is the position I want to be in at the end of the game, so I don't want to stray too far from here after a minute goes by. But I do kind of make a big error around the 1 minute mark, I think. So here, Amba's here. I don't want Amba on this side. I really want him on the other side, but he's going to hang out here for a while, which is not good for me. It means that I might have to approach the Amba later to come back in this conversation. I do want to stand here to build the conversation a little bit. I want characters here before I leave. So I'm going to go to window, make myself seen, but not do anything. And what I should do is go to the other side of the map and call Toby over there, so that he's nowhere near me at the end of the game. And it's something I'd actually considered when working on this strategy, but nerves got to me, and I didn't want to have to path all the way around and miss time coming back. And there was also this problem with the Amba. So here, I should probably slow down to normal time. Amba goes to the last spot that I could possibly want the Amba to go to, but it's okay. I don't think Kaylee's watching too closely. And what you have to do here is hit a green test. You do have to time it a little bit early, so I think you time it for right when 4 is turning into 3, so at that half-second mark. If you time it at 3 seconds and you get too late of the action test is too late along the bar, then you're at a high risk of timing out. So you do have to do it a bit early, and it's unfortunate because if you get an early action test, it's not going to sound as authentic. But I go for it. And this is what I've been worried about for 4 games straight, is hitting this one action test. Because if I don't hit it, I'm screwed. And Toby offers me a drink at just that time, and I botch the rhythm. I started a bit early, it's already a bit fast, but I commit to it. And at this point in the game, I know Kaylee has won. So, yeah, it's a sad day. In KCM town. And at this point, I'm kind of shaking in sort of sadness and frustration. I know that I'm down 5-1 now, and I'm like, well, I guess I gotta scramble to do some missions, and I'm a mess. I can't even BB properly. I leave and freak out, and Kaylee gets his easy win. I don't think my execution was so bad that it wouldn't have fooled most players still. Maybe not good enough well, obviously not good enough to beat Kaylee in this case, but I think this could probably have still worked if I had executed it, perfectly. The execution isn't as difficult as it's probably implied, but it's not easy, and you do have to have that rhythm, ready. It's hard to accurately depict a rhythm, when your heart is racing that fast and you don't have a metronome playing or a conductor, conducting you. But you hope that your opponent is equally frustrated at the end of a game and that the beeping just causes a panic shot right away. So my hat is definitely off to Kaylee. I was really impressed that it didn't fool him. I think it's pretty convincing in my opinion. But yeah, Crash didn't help and Kaylee does it right. So that's that. Next game. Kaylee is Spy. I remember this one. Kaylee has a tendency to pick good characters. He's not afraid to pick the top tier characters, which still makes them a threat. You do have to pick them. But I'm aware that he likes them, I think, a little bit too much. And here he goes to one of his favorite hiding spots with Lil Man, who isn't a suspect, but he's somebody that I will pay attention to more in the mid-game than other characters. That BB I don't think was especially good. I was pretty happy with those low lights, and I think that this is a bad position for a BB. You can't see anything. On old Veranda, you could do this wall trick, like old art Veranda, you could do this wall trick where you could still see the other side by putting your camera through the wall. But it doesn't work anymore, which I think is fine. But this is something that the spy has to learn to adjust their gameplay around. And if you're going to BB in that conversation, or in the conversation like all the way on the other end over here, like if you're over here, you don't get a very good view. You get an okay view. If you're over here, you get nothing, right? Unless that wall glitches for you, which it shouldn't. So yeah, we'll talk about that next game as well. So Kaylee's BB, it's okay, but it's not great. It gives me a lot of lowlights. And now most of my suspects on the left side are... most of my suspects are on the left side. The people on the right side aren't doing anything. They're all kind of idling. One character goes for books. But here I'm really just baiting out microfilm. And I'm watching Purloin, and I've kind of given up on Bug at this point because the Amba's just been very, very friendly to people. Here I try to bait out a Purloin, but he rejects very quickly. I'm on top of this reject. And Kaylee decides to go for a microfilm, which I think I bait. Yeah. I see him take it out there, and then he goes over there, and he's going to get shot. I think the Purloin chain was still going, but even so, I think I was on top of it and would have had it down to the people in the Purloin chain. I believe I knew it was him and Boots. And at this point in the game, we're reaching that mid game, and I do think I'm going to be more suspicious of Little Man, you know, getting that little burst of activity and doing a Purloin while hiding in that kind of spot. So that is what happens, and I do win that game. After losing my little gimmick game, I think my nerves settled, and I really started to play smart. I had actually strategies for several wins on Veranda since I knew it was Kaylee's pick. That was one of them, and I was planning on doing it again if for whatever reason, you know, that game didn't pan out to that point. But this was another thing I had planned out, was this game. I mean, of course, there's, you know, a lot of improvisation here, but my goals were a hard test microfilm. I wanted to do that fairly early on and finish with a swap and no inspects as a means of countering Kaylee's, you know, highlight for inspect strategy. I'd love to get a bug this game, and I do pressure the Amba a lot. But I don't think this is going to work out. Yeah, I decided not to go for it. I don't want a Purloin here. Yeah, I'm not going to. And I'm going to get started on Fingerprint. I know I might get an early highlight for this one, but you've got to take risks in this game, and early Fingerprint is not the biggest risk you can take. Gonna go to this spot. I have a tendency to gravitate towards certain locations when I idle. Which is something that somebody has kind of brought up to me, and that is one of them. So here, I want to get my flirt. I might be looking at the Amba for a behind-the-back bug, but I decided not to go for it. At this moment, I really want a BB, and this is why I leave. So I leave, and I come out here because that's a terrible spot to BB, and I scoop around to see if I like this BB. And I guess I decide that I like it because I see two people. I see a full conversation here and people in conversations over there. And I come back around, and all I want to do is BB. It's kind of nice that the flirt might get reset here, but she leaves. So I decide to chase. I get a green, and I react with by chasing. I'm not sure why I paused there. I think to let the Amba catch up, which I try to pause there again. But she just decides not to walk alongside with me, and I keep going. It would have been nice to have gotten that flirt, but I think I'm in a good position right now. I'm kind of happy with my BB. Here I really want to microfilm, and I'm going to wait until the moment that Twin takes the drink. And as soon as he takes it, I begin the microfilm there. Now, in that case, here I'm going to get a flirt and finish that. Kaylee might not stare at the list if there hasn't been a reject, and I don't know in that situation if there's been a reject, but I'm going to gamble my hard tell timing there that he's busy looking at the list. And I guess I gambled right there. I do stop talk, but I stop talk really late in my conversation, or my talk animation. I don't think that's too suspicious. The bug here is really tempting, but it's so exposed, and I decide not to go for it. Gonna get my microfilm done. I have 2 minutes. All I need is a microfilm print, and then my final mission, which I want to be swap. I don't think I knew there was a print there. It was kind of a nice little surprise. But I didn't get it. I felt Kaylee was watching me or maybe even baiting it, so I decided to leave with the book and just bring it back. Here I do have to put it in, and I hit a white test. If you look at it from Kaylee's view, it's actually pretty, the head shake, or the head turn is pretty visible. But the turban does kind of hide it in your peripheral vision. So here I just go bookcase for a print, and I hope Kaylee is not aware of that print. And if he's not, I think I win the game. Yeah. So here, gonna get right up in there and body block and swap immediately, and hope to God that Kaylee doesn't have a chance to see it before he shoots me. I do expect to get highlit, so I'm not afraid of the laser, but when it passes back around, it's a bit scary. And I win this one. This is probably the spy game that I was most proud of. I did go into it with some strategy and like at the start, but I think I reacted pretty well to everything that was going on. It would have been a tough game for Kaylee to win, you know, not catching the microfilm. I hardly consider the swap like a hard tell or a visible hard tell because it was blocked, and you kind of have to anticipate that, which is possible at 50 seconds, but you'd have to be willing to shoot somebody who hasn't inspected and you haven't seen them bug, you know, at all. So, yeah, I was really proud of that spy game. And that helped bring me back into the match. Here, I'm Sniper. Let's see what happens. Kaylee's General. Yeah, I remember this game. So here I'm memorizing my statues, track and bug. I don't think anybody's bugged. And now looking at pairings. Red dress in kind of a useless spot there. I wonder if she'll get a low light. I had Damon highlight. I don't like early BBs anymore, to be honest. Blue Danger should get a low light, but I miss it. And I decide to highlight all the people with a real BB. I don't have any highlights yet, and this allows me to track that information a little bit easier. So General's gonna go visit statue and hopefully get this flirt. But yeah, just looking around, looking at the party, seeing who's being active, bouncing characters around, and then swap has occurred. And I come around to check the other side because they're the same. I think the statues were like 3-2, 3-1. So when I saw it was 3-1, I had to go around to the other side to make sure it was also 3-1. And I come back around and shoot him. I actually didn't know he was only one flirt away. So yeah, actually kind of a closer game when you think of it that way. It was 10 seconds after the swap. So if he had finished a flirt, I would have lost that one. Just because I saw the swap and decided to take 10 seconds to rotate around and look. So maybe that wasn't the best, the most well-calculated move on my part, but I still managed to win. I keep doing that, just Control N. Alright, I'm Spy. Let's watch this game. I really want my early flirt, but the AI don't want me to have it. I grab it anyway. Yeah, I am going to be really aggressive with flirting against Kaylee from now on. I decide that if he's going to camp his hard tells like really hard, then I'm just going to finish my soft tells right away, and then, or at the very least, get Seduce done very quickly and find a hard tell somewhere in this game. So now I have the whole game to either find a bug or a purloin or a swap. or 2 prints. Going for this statue, and I'm going to green swap it. And I've already been seen here. I wanted to green swap and walk away, but I've already been seen here, so I decided to... I'm stuck, I gotta grab the inspects. I know I'm not in a good spot in this game. I want to maybe either force a 50-50 or distract. The double agent leaves and I miss the pad. I think that's the end of the game here. And then a low light goes and visits the statues. I'm not sure why he's low lit. I want to check because it's not common for Kaley to low light before a BB. I know a BB will get me killed here, and I know that he sees the swap, so I've just got to bug and run. I've got my missions done. Hopefully I can get away and live or hide behind somebody, but no such luck. Where did he low light? What was that? White danger? So here we go. What's white danger doing? Oh, it looks like he hung out next to the Amba for a long time and didn't do anything. And it might have even had a bug path coming out. Let's see. So he's going to hang out here, talk. Amba leaves. He grabs a drink. That's not common, actually, for AI to do that. That's really not common. I wonder why he did that. The Amba will do it, the seduction target can do it if you red flirt, and of course the player can do it. But I want to say the AI... Oh, it's because he was interrupted. Alright, well if Kaley thinks that's a low lightable thing, then, well, you know. Okay. Well, that hurts me in the long run. So, good on him. Alright, now I'm sniper. Going to memorize my statues, looking at the Amba. There, checking Toby. Low lighting Damon. Early BB again. I get my low lights. Oh, I remember this game. Here's what happens here. I do see his conversation entry and I don't like it. That's what happened. I think I either see that entry or I see him enter an instant talk, and I'm already considering highlighting him when he talks so quickly. So when the BB happens, I just decide just to highlight him. And yeah, I think he goes and he swaps. Looking for behind the back bug there. Nobody goes for it. Only white, only Revolta could have. Tracking my Purloin, coming around here to beta swap. And then I see swap soon, I think. Yeah. Oh, even before I saw the swap, I saw her kind of leave the statue a little bit too quickly after putting it down. Like she didn't pause at all. Yeah. Oh, Courtyard 2, still. Alright, I'm Spy. Alright, am I going to go to my seduction target? Probably. Yeah. I don't know why I don't get right next to him, but I don't. I start with a green 45% flirt. It looks like I'm going to leave pretty quickly. I wait a little bit. I wait a while. What am I doing? I do notice that the Amba has that statue, and I want to come to that statue later. I'm hoping no AI visits it for a couple minutes, so I get this print. I shouldn't have returned it. I already have a strategy to get the second print. The only real reason to return the briefcase in this situation, I think, is to ensure that the Amba has another print available. But I shouldn't do that because I know that I would want to get that statue print later. Still, I'm going to talk to the Amba a bit. I like standing near the Amba. I think if you're playing against a strong sniper and you are playing against a player who you're afraid to bug against because they're going to catch it, you should stand next to the Amba more often without bugging. You should pressure that character and make the sniper have to look at them. Even if you don't stand right next to them, but have a little faith in your opponents that they're not going to hallucinate a bug, and get right up in there. Do some bug paths. Do some suspicious stuff without doing missions sometimes. So I like idling next to the Amba. Yeah, it's a great little spot. You do nothing, and they still have to look at you. Here, I get caught bouncing a little with him. I don't think that's a big deal, but I don't know orange dress is there, and taking both my print and my spot, and I miss the pad and die. Yeah, that's the spy game, isn't it? Well, I was highlight for that briefcase. I think I felt the highlight, and that's why I decided to idle. But you know. All right, so Courtyard 1. When Caley picked it, I immediately realized that I had made a mistake picking Courtyard 2 in the draft. I think Courtyard 1 was a really smart pick from him. If I hadn't picked Courtyard 2 and maybe picked something else, then I think he would have picked Courtyard 2, and we wouldn't have played this map doubled. Do we play this one doubled? I think we do. Yeah, we do. And it's just a map I feel we're really likely to split as sniper, and I suspect that was likely Caley's strategy going into it. It isn't really how it plays out, though we do split the map. So early on, I'm going to memorize the statues. I think this map requires a little different mindset when you memorize statues. Yeah, because it rotates around, certain statue combinations can be pretty tough for me. I do lowlight her for taking the drink during BB. The early BB throws me off a little bit this game, but then I noticed the purloin a little late, and I recall vaguely that Toby was in that conversation, or was around that conversation at the start of the game. So I think I'm going to highlight all 4 of those people soon, and then lowlight everybody else. Yeah. So I'm going to get these 2 lowlights. Okay. Now what I should do is start neutralizing people. I should neutralize orange dress. And that way I'll have 3 levels of characters. I have the characters I don't suspect, the characters I'm looking at to see if I can build suspicion on them, my neutral lights, and then I'll have my highlights, who are people who I don't really have to try to watch. I bring up a low light there, see what she's doing. And just kind of looking at overall party activity, I noticed that KrazyCaley returns to his seduction target here, or they joins the seduction target. These 2 characters are already highlit, so I knew they were next to each other at the start of the game. The orange dress is the one exception to that rule. So if the spy was in that conversation, it's those characters who might have been flirting as well as doing the purloin. So now I have red tie paired with Blondo. I don't necessarily have brown and red dress paired, though they could be flirting, they could be finishing up a flirt here. There haven't been many statue visits. I don't think any of my highlights have gone. Nothing's really going on this game. But Caley returns and talks pretty quickly, and if I missed a bug, and if the BB was real, then I lose, so it's time to shoot. I don't remember if the DA was even in for his BB, though. Let's see. I know it was a BB to distract.
Banana bread.
And no, he didn't have a DA. So I guess doesn't warrant a shot if I remember that detail. Oh, right, that's why I highlight Orange Dress. Orange Dress is the only character who could have BB'd. Dots couldn't have because she was grabbing a drink during it. And then I highlight those. So, yeah. Still, I should have neutral lit Orange Dress and just remembered her as the only BB'er. And I could have let that game play into a timeout. Alright, so I'm Spy here. I did not expect a Courtyard 1 pick. I don't think I've seen Courtyard 1 in Diamond play at all this season, and not from Caley. It was a really unexpected pick. Still going to be aggressive about my flirts. So I walk in, I instant talk. I'm probably going to sip and leave. I like that move. I'm just gonna hang out. All right. I break animation to sip. Yeah, normally I'm pretty good on animations, but I know Kaylee kind of gives that to me, and fine, you know, you take it. I'm just probably just gonna go straight back in and wait a second, and then flirt. Oh, I decide not to. Guess it's time to idle. I don't know why I don't just go straight back in. Maybe I wanted to position myself for the briefcase and thought better of it. But now I'm looking at wanting to BB, so I come in here. I don't want to BB right away. I want to wait until it's a good banana bread. Oh, I BB to Twitch. BB distract to Twitch there. All right, so let's talk about this moment, I guess. When did I arrive next to my Amber? Oh, I didn't. Amber arrives next to me, and unfortunately just a little too far, so I'm like, now's the time to BB and Twitch in, and I do. Kaylee actually says he saw that, and I do see his laser over here, and he sits it on the Amba. I decide that now's a good time to bug. There we go. All right, there are two reasons for bugging there, I think. One is the camera angle is fairly friendly if it's out of the corner of, you know, the person's eye. Like, if they're not looking at it, you get away with anything. But if the camera angle's not good and they're looking at it, you definitely get away with it. And I also think that when the sniper puts their laser directly on something, it's rarely the thing that they want to look at constantly. At some point, Kaylee has to look elsewhere. And I got to gamble on the moment that this is when he's going to look elsewhere. Otherwise, the BB into the Twitch was pointless. So, yeah, you got to take that chance. I don't know how big of a suspect I am here. I do have a Prince, and I know Kaylee's on top of it. Not getting that flirt hurts me every time I watch that. But now I'm going to have to come in. This necessitates me immediately going for the print. I could have waited, but not getting the green test means I have to go now. And I arrive a little bit after her and pick it up a little bit faster. I think my pause timing there is good. I know Kaylee told me that his logic was that I arrived after her and picked it up before her. And he admitted that that might not be a hard tell, but at this point, a fingerprintable statue on a guest who already has a print, who did some weird twitch next to the Amba during a real BB, warranted a shot, and I think that's a fair argument. So I come in, probably wait the very minimum amount of time before picking it up, and I'm going to get shot for that one. I didn't want to gamble on a hard print there. Waiting for her to put down the statue and leave means that I have to walk around a little bit to get my flirt timer to expire. Then I got to go to the statue and get a hard print with only like 8 seconds left, which is guaranteed overtime, and it's just ugly. But yeah, looking at this bug, I think this... I like this decision. Even if I get caught doing it, this is a decision I would have made again. You know, you got to put yourself in the positions you can get in to where you can win, which requires taking risks. Here I switch in, which Kaylee sees, and that, as far as I know, could be the losing move. But here, yeah, there's just too good a chance that Kaylee's going to have to look elsewhere for a split second. And you want to catch that split second sometimes. Do not fall into the trap of never doing hardtails against Kaylee. Even if you get caught for every single hardtail you do against Kaylee, it forces him to keep watching it. The moment that you stop doing hardtails is the moment that he can be lazy about it. Like, even if he claims he's still watching hardtails, if you're not doing them, it doesn't matter that he's watching them. He can watch them as poorly as he wants. You're not going to do them. So, yeah, you have to do those hardtails. You still got to play the game. Here, I'm the spy, or the sniper, and I'm going to hopefully shoot Kaylee for something. No, I don't. Yeah, this is kind of an embarrassing loss. So let's see. Early low light on, or the DAs, and then, yeah, just doing the early game stuff. Looks like Kaylee's going to get his flirt here. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain my sniper style until things start happening. I'm going to get my lowlights here, going to neutralize a few people, and then I think maybe highlight for a real BB. I might do that. No, I decide not to. That's a bad highlight, but I wasn't entirely sure if he had split. And I should even lowlight for doing that repath, but he's going to remain a highlight for a while anyway. Here is a moment worth noting, and this is actually a pretty lucky moment for me. So Caley is doing briefcase in this conversation here. And he's going to put it down, which is fine. But the most unfortunate thing that can happen to Caley actually happens here. Snaps arrives. If an AI arrives with the player character in a conversation, there's a good chance the AI might talk. And they won't talk to other AI in the conversation doing briefcase. So this is actually a hard tell if Snaps talks. And incidentally, I tend to lowlight spies for the, or tend to lowlight characters for what Caley got a little bit lucky on there, but I didn't notice. So, he gets a little lucky and unlucky, I guess, in that like a soft anti-tell plays, and I don't really pay attention when I normally would. I think that just felt like a good statue visit timing. Maybe it was her second statue visit. And I see blue dress at the statue there. Trying to maybe check Purloin there. It's not going on. Nobody's bugging the Amba. And I really don't, I see that path into conversation. I really, really don't like it. And when I come around, she talks and she stops talking, and I kind of blatantly highlight her there. I think at this point, Caley knows he's highlight. I shouldn't have highlighted him there. I should have waited, because if I pretend like I don't see that, there's a good chance he leaves and comes back for his flirt. But now, making it so obvious is going to change the way he's going to play this game, I think. Because he ends up deciding that there's no way he can finish all soft tells. He gets his print here, and I don't even know that's a printable drink. Breaks animation to gulp. This is stuff I should be paying attention to, but I'm looking at the whole party. And I'm concerned about somebody who might be crashing a hard tell or something right now. I'm giving a lot of attention to statues in the Amba. As well as Purloin. So now I probably could have caught that flirt timing. Here Caley's in a potentially unwinnable situation. It should be unwinnable, but I'm so concerned about a character going to statues a second time that I decide to shoot. I think when I began shooting him here, he's just standing there. I think I shoot him like just as he starts picking it up. Yeah. And looking back, I'm pretty sure he was out during the BB. He was a low light that I brought back up. But that's also a risk you take if you're going to behaviorally low light people and still watch your low lights. You gotta, I guess, remember who the BB ones were. I brought him up for a late statue visit here, and then he goes directly to another statue. And yeah, it could probably couldn't have been him unless I suspected him winning with the other statue. But yeah. All right. Next one, I'm Spy. Oh, at the start of this game, yeah, my initial strategy at the start of this game was to immediately Purloin. Even before the game began, I just wanted to immediately Purloin. The BB was actually accidental, but it ends up working out in my favor. And I walk away with a white Purloin that should probably get me killed, I think. I get my real BB here because I've already kind of screwed up, and it really doesn't look that bad, this BB. And when Caley goes around to that side of the statue, I think I'm going to break animation to gulp. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't want to get rid of it too early, but I feel like I can still gulp it, because if Caley didn't see the Purloin and he hasn't seen me taking a drink, then that might still look like a starting drink to him, so I can gulp it. It's kind of fine. I don't get my flirt there. That's a little unfortunate. I'm I'm wondering if this is an opportunity to bug, but I think I'm gonna decide it's not a good risk to take when I already have my Purloin, and I'm a little bit behind on Flirt, but I can catch up with a green test. Yeah. Yeah. I still wouldn't say I'm on top of it. I think this is a good position to be in, but I need Flirt here. She's gonna do Briefcase, yeah. And I need another hardtail. Fingerprint is out of the question entirely. And now I have to start being aggressive on my flirts because this briefcase has taken a while. So I'm looking at Bug. Bug doesn't really look good. I think I even consider it and then just decide to walk by. Now there's nothing for me to do. So I have to think really hard about my hardtail. Probably going to have to be a late swap at this point, I'm thinking. And I get stuck here, and it's a little comical, and I don't get shot for it right away, so I play it off a little. Yeah, I thought I could squeeze through that spot, but I guess I can't. I'm really not, too keen on all of the pathing locations on this map. So here, yeah, I'm in a really bad spot, I think. I got to get this flirt. Even with a green, it's not enough to win. I've got to leave, come back, and yeah, it's going to look really bad. So I walk as far away as I can. Timer expires, I'm going to go back. And I've got to talk with less than 10 seconds left, so guaranteed overtime. So I'm going to talk kind of early. Kaylee knows, in my opinion, Kaylee will know on my talk that that's an overtime talk. And then I'm going to hopefully dance a little. And I get a bit lucky. My my green swapper, I think? No, because I white swapped. But the guy who went to the statue after me, Kaylee thought he might have been a green swapper. And then he immediately went to another statue with enough time for the overtime, during overtime window, which is, really good luck on my part. I think the casters talked a lot about, Kaylee getting lucky, especially early on in this set. And while, some of that is true, here's a 50-50 playing out in my favor, with him as sniper on a sniper favorite map. So I certainly got, lucky as well, and I think the luck kind of leveled out overall. I'm going to do that every time. Now we're on balcony pick to a 3. This doesn't go well. Let's see. So I'm the sniper. And Kaylee has chosen Contact Seduce, and Fingerprint is disabled, but I do not know that. I also don't know that he's going to AI control this whole game. So I see his characters talk twice. Might low-light Revolta for not flirting, I don't think. And then Banana Man's going to grab the first inspect, which... and walk right through conversation. I remember seeing that and being unsure whether to highlight or low light, so I decided to just leave him neutral light there, neutral lit, rather. And I expect a BB, but I don't get one. I'm going to low light him and him for leaving and not wanting to BB, and highlight Banana Man for an early talk on entry. Is that his first or second talk? I don't remember. Banana Man's not a really high suspect right now. He is my only highlight. He doesn't even enter next to Green Dress. And this is just looking like a really slow game where nobody really is doing anything. BB happens here. This BB actually is kind of convincing. It looks good for Banana Man, meaning it looks like he did it. And he's had the Banana Man could have had the sort of desperate game where he would need a 4-person Banana Bread just to finish, since he hasn't been doing missions as well either. Maybe a talk by Banana Man here makes me want to shoot, but it would be a tough shot either way, and I'm not sure if I would have made it or not. I'm definitely watching to see who talks before overtime there. Nobody does. And when nobody talks during the overtime window, this game is already lost for Kaylee. So, yeah. I mean, it's not a bad move. You got to do it sometimes, and Kaylee decided to do it. It didn't work out. yeah, if Banana Man talks towards the end, that may be a win for Caley, so a little bit of luck that he didn't. I'm not sure entirely what my frame of mind was and whether I was willing to shoot there or not if he talked again, but I don't have to talk about that because it didn't happen. Now it's my turn. I might have overthought this one, but yeah, I do want to wait until Purloin Chain, and I'm going to get a green Purloin. That's my strategy here. I'm going to BB as late as possible, because after the Purloin, I still want Caley to think that maybe the people talking could have won via flirting or something. I'd love to get a Purloin and then not even have to BB to win. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to, every time a character is handed a drink, I'm going to request drink, with the exception of the Amba here. So green dress is going to be offered a drink. I'm going to say, hey, give me a drink. I might just wait on this one. Oh, it doesn't show drink requests in the log down here. Maybe it shows it in this log. I guess not. That's interesting. Well, what is happening is every time I am requesting a drink, I'm hoping that the character before me is going to reject. And if they reject, then I can hopefully Purloin after them. I missed that reject from Blue Suit, though, which is unfortunate. And yeah, just looking for any excuse to move to cancel Toby coming to me after somebody actually takes a drink. But this game's starting to look pretty bad. 3 characters have drinks, which means that only 2 characters could Purloin Chain. Now, only 2 characters can. It's just not a good situation for me to be in. I miss a pad. And you see the laser twitch there, the way it reacts. Yeah, Caley definitely saw me missing that pad. So here I enter instant talk, green BB at the end, green Purloin.
And the end of red.
And I'm hoping this guy's going to reject the drink. If he rejects the drink, maybe I can win. I guess not. I'm going to lose. Yeah. Maybe you should have just done Seduce. Again, if you're not going to pick it sometimes, then what's the point? You got to do it sometimes. Was this the time to do it? I don't know. But now everybody will know that I'm willing to make the stupidest possible decision in the highest stakes match, so don't count it out. I like trying Purloin against Caley on pick, even if you remove it, because I think that takes like a different mental capacity than Bug does, and it could interfere a little bit with him tracking Seduce. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I don't think I don't think Fingerprint is the right choice at all. I really don't. I do think, there's a chance that AI will finish it, but I don't see as much potential in Fingerprint as I do in Bug. Bug I don't think is viable in Pick. It's just, yeah, it's tough. Pick is a tough mode. Purloin might be my favorite right now for that one. So I'm going to be the sniper here, and let's see what happens. Okay, so I remember this game. Here I'm looking for Bug, making sure nobody bugs. I've memorized statues already. Toby's been pretty nice to me. He hasn't really offered to anybody who's like going to take and be a threat. But here's something threatening does happen. I think like 5 characters rush statues, and I say screw it. If Caley wants to rush statues and start the game with a highlight, then I'll let him win. And I lowlight those characters. There's a lot of exaggeration in that, seeing as how I'm still camping the swap here. Right now, I know that if a swap occurs, it's one of my lowlights, so that's not hard to recover from. And I'm in the habit of watching my lowlights in a game now. So I am watching snaps for this green swap, which I now know hasn't happened. I see 3 bookshelf, and I don't have any highlights, so I'm going to grab those 2 highlights. And Caley's going to grab his book there. This is a really good spot to do microfilm. I think it's underrated, and Caley goes there. And yeah, it works for him. I'm not going to be watching this time. I think I'm too busy looking at Banana Man rejecting this drink and making sure nobody bugs. I know a bunch of characters are going to walk by here. Snap's doing a briefcase return. This is a really good time to do microfilm, and he gets to green. So Caley going to go return that book where it belongs, and I neutral item for it. Yep. So, you know, there you go. Being rewarded for doing half of our hard tell and doing it in a good spot. Back to camping. Purloin. Amba's in a nice spot for me. You can't bug in that position. That's a bad position to bug in. If you're the spy and you see the Amba there, don't bug. You're an idiot if you bug. So, camp in this Purloin. And I think at this point okay, low light. I give up on low lighting and I decide just to highlight because it has to be that conversation. And I don't want to like anybody to move, so I'm like, screw it, I can low light everybody later. And I don't even really need to low light them because the spy's in there. And at that point, that's when I notice there's a character hiding back there. And now that is my top suspect. I noticed she rejected the drink, so I just really need to watch this Purloin. And yeah, it's a green test. Pretty sure it's a green fade, and I'm going to shoot. Yeah, small character body hiding in the back. And rejecting a drink during BB, that's going to be ultra suspicious there. All right, now let's watch my spy game. This was the end of a long set. I really need this win. This could be a really big spy win for me, and I want to get ahead. And I go for this move. And I'm going to lose because of it. Yeah. Caley even considers it. I don't know why, but I guess I cracked under pressure on this one. This was not a good spy game. This is not a good move. Really didn't want the wrong arm bug, which is avoidable. I'm pretty good at getting the correct arm, or the one that I want. But here I fail. And I probably shouldn't have rotated to the left there. I should have just gone straight into the wall. Maybe it would have been a little less obvious in the turn. A little more natural, but either way, I think Caley, sees that bug and I lose. Yeah, it's just not good. This is really not a good location to bug because it is a vulnerable spot for the Amba, but it's so vulnerable that it's really obvious for the sniper looking at it. Everybody watches for these bugs because they seem like good ideas and they never are. Maybe a new art. I think that'll be more viable if we get like a new art gallery with similar dimensions and a similar sniper perch, but here it's just no good. And that's part of the reason I go for it. I think in the early time of Chaos, hopefully Caley's a bit busy with other stuff, and hopefully he's not, camping really hard against an improbable bug in kind of a poor location. And that's kind of the mind game I'm playing there, but it's just stupid. So there's me losing a spy game that I maybe could have worked for and maybe could have won. This map's going to be pretty tough, I know. It's hard to win a spy here. And let's see how this goes. So right away I know that if Caley was on top of it, he could have bugged there. I know that character could have bugged. And this was where my mind was at the start of the game, was making sure no reverse drive-by bugs get by me. And Amba makes another move and kind of gives it to him. And here, I almost kind of think that he's done it. And I scoop around and catch it at the last second anyway. Yeah, it was my primary concern this whole game was who was going to bug the Amba. And if I had stayed here, I would have caught the bug, I think. Oh, wait, go back. If I stay here, I catch the bug, I think. But it's tough to tell because of like occlusion and people moving. I really wanted to get a better angle, so yeah. Just barely caught it. I think if I came around a little later, like a split second later, I would have missed it. I think that's a good bug. I think Caley was right to go for that bug. Sometimes you're given these nice little situations. You got to do it. And 2-character occlusion isn't a bad risk, so you almost got away with it. So here, I start off at Windows, decide I'm going to grab my flirt. That's how you want to start this game anyway. I get 50%, and I think I want to be really aggressive here. Yeah. Yeah, just gonna be really aggressive. No respect on the flirts at all. I think it bites me a little bit in this set when I do it when I'm high lit, but for the most part, I think it works out. BB, I might go for a second BB. I'm thinking, you know, as I play this, that I might want to go for a second BB this game just to, you know, do that. But I don't have to worry about it right now. And Kaylee wouldn't expect a second BB right away, I don't think. So what I really want to do, even if he suspects that's real or fake, I want to get my hardtail now. And I decide it's time to create a purloin chain with a slick green purloin. But I don't get green. I think it was like right on the edge. It was one of the tough ones, but I definitely don't win that game. I didn't have many red tests this set. I think my green test rate was really high this set. But that was not one of them. Come on, next game. All right. Oh no, go back to the last one. All right, here, second to last game, I absolutely need a win here. Otherwise, Kaylee wins the set. So here we go. I'm gonna memorize my statues and track the Amba. I'm not sure why I highlight that character at window, Salmon Danger, but I did. I think Irish could have bugged there, and so I highlight her. Maybe that's the same reason why I highlight him. I didn't think this was a very strong BB. I got a good number of lowlights from it, and I probably could have low-lit Rocker, but I highlight her here for a possible bail into statue, but get a lowlight. That's a big BB. That one gives me one of my top suspects. Although both of those highlights were pretty early highlights, and they weren't super suspects. She was my top at the moment. And now I think I'm in a pretty good spot, assuming I haven't missed a BB split and lost the game because of that. I think I'm in a pretty good position, and we're nearing that mid-game when I'm going to take more note of Small Man. So here he's going to reject a drink, and I'm on top of this. It might be a purloin as far as I'm concerned, and he's going to go for print. And I think this is a good excuse to highlight him. At this point, I've been watching him for a few seconds, and he goes for a print, and I'm going to highlight him at that moment. I've been watching him for a little while. But again, I don't have many highlights, and I'm considering neutral lighting Salmon Danger for kind of inactivity, really hoping he takes this drink, and then I can camp it and see if it's like a green or a white purloin, but it doesn't fade. I'm surprised I haven't neutral lit him yet. Alice, I guess, maybe a flirt timing kind of thing. I'm switching out highlights is what I'm doing. So keeping my highlights down, kind of watching my neutral lights, and at this point I'm maybe looking at some of my low lights, wondering if I missed the spy. Yeah, I'm looking for more suspects because nobody's doing anything. So Alice is going to grab a drink, no purloin. Boots is going to get a print over there. And now I think Boots is quickly becoming my top suspect. Is she going to bug? Is she going to bug? No, she's not going to bug. And I know that this is Small Man's second visit to Bookcase. I saw him at Bookcase, or at the Green Shelf, on his second visit. So Kaylee got the microfilm the first visit. On his second visit, which he went for fingerprint, I saw him there, but I watched him and did not see him do microfilm. And I was pretty sure he didn't. When he comes over to this one, I see him begin the microfilm animation, and then I kind of assumed that I missed it at Green Shelf. But he had actually visited Green Shelf twice, and had I not noticed the second time, I think I wouldn't have been paying as much attention to this microfilm at the end. So that print that he got ended up costing him, but not in a finger, not because it was a print. There's one little thing I can mention here. So here he gets, I think he gets a green test, right? No, he gets a white. But he loses here either way. He actually broke, like his character breaks that page turn animation to begin the microfilm. And as soon as I saw that, I was ready to shoot. So he loses on a green test there as well. There's not much he could have done about breaking that animation. I was just making a little note. All right, this is my last game. I decided to go with Mom, and this is one of the few games, I think only 2 games this set, that I actually chose my cast. I don't usually do it on old art because I don't think it's necessary, but on new art, you should do it every single game. We played the majority of our games on old art, but I should have probably chosen my cast a bit more on the new art maps. In any case, I chose Mom here because I think she's kind of a mid-tier character. She's not especially great at anything, but she's not really bad at anything, minus her character groups like Bug, Snapback. And for this game, I wanted to gamble that I could win with a decent character who's not as suspicious as somebody like Small Man or Papa Danger. Who, Small Man's in the game. I guess I forgot to put Papa Danger in there. And note that both, oh yeah, he's there. Yeah, Small Man and Wheels both have highlights, so I'm smart not to have picked them. I'm not sure why Kaylee highlighted them. I do get this book early, and I decide I'm not going to do a microfilm action test here. I know this is an obvious bug position, but I go for it, and I get bullied. I could try to push my way in, but I decide not to overcommit, and I hope that Kaylee doesn't suspect that bug path, which, or I guess he does. I'm hoping he thinks that he thought that I was pushed away. I did see the laser go to my face, though. And here I'm definitely thinking I'm way behind. I've got nothing done. I've got this blue book, which Kaylee probably knows where it is, but that's what I'm gambling this whole game on, is that one hard tell. I'm gonna do this walk by the amp. I actually want to do a reverse walking, or a wrong arm bug there, but there's no way to set it up with Small Man there. If he wasn't there, I could have gotten it. And here I go for the actual bug. And that just didn't turn out well. And I'm still behind. Got a flirt. Don't get a green.
Banana bread.
Here's my BB. And what I want to do is reset my flirt and then go put my book in my shelf and hope I don't die. So waiting for this conversation, or this flirt to expire. It does. I chase, and she goes for briefcase. I've got a minute left, so now it's time for me to go put that book away. I even break animation to leave, but I don't think that's going to get me killed. This book will, though. And that's the end of our set. Yeah. I think this was a really solid set. I think I played really well, and I'm proud of how it turned out. It's a really close set. I think it was a pretty good show for everybody who was watching. And yeah, so these were my thoughts on the game, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.